Hi everybody, it's Suzanne in Ohio. This is a follow-up video on some tiny little fabric collages that I had made. I showed in another video, I showed this set of four, and I'll just let you see them quickly again. A little window scene, a bird in a nest, another bird, and coneflower. So I told a lot about the process and how I came to do it in the other video, but just in case you didn't see that and don't have time to go back and look, here's how it started. What I did was just sitting around one evening, I made a pile of these backgrounds, and all they are is just a piece of muslin, a thin piece, a very thin piece of Pellon in there, and then I just glue sticked a lot of little scraps onto these squares. Now they are all a similar size, but they don't end up to be perfect. So I made a bunch of these foundations and thinking, oh man, if I'm just sitting around and you've lost your mojo and you need something to get you warmed up, this would be good. So that's how I created this first four set. And then I've really enjoyed it, and I have a lot of tiny scraps which serve well for this project. So I want to show you some of the things I did. Now these two over here, I had the chicken first, and it's got a lot of slow stitching on it, which you probably can't see on the camera exactly, but cute as the dickens. And then I thought, well, that chicken needs a farmhouse to go with it. So I put this little farmhouse on this also country looking background. And on a lot of these, I've added these little inspirational words. I had them printed off on fabric, and right there they were. So I've been using them. And those two kind of go together as a country theme. And these are just a set of ivy leaves. I did two Boston ivy and two English ivy, and I added these words to it as, whoops, I didn't realize I'm out of camera. So that was fun. And all the twirly, viney, twinies, a lot of slow stitch. Now, I just put my image on my background first, and by the time I sew my image down, I have sewn a lot of these pieces in place. Otherwise, they're only on there with a little bit of a glue stick. And then if anything is left unstitched after I stitch my main image on, then I go along and put some slow stitching wherever it's needed. But to do it first, you're just wasting a lot of time. So I made that set of ivy, and that's how I did it. And then I have a little set of bee skips here. And I had a lot of fun with these. And they're all different and so colorful. Now you might say, well, what are you going to do with these? Well, okay, here's how it started. I had a little fabric arts in mind, which was this one. And I knew I wanted to do what's called an insert look to it. So I created this first little bee skip in the same way that I just showed you, and I put it as an insert or inset into this layout. And I wanted to be spring and gardening. So I did that, and that way this can be out of scale to the rest of it if you mark things off as an inset. It's a popular artist trick. Even Susan Wingett and lots of other artists that have their images printed on fabric, they do them in the form of insets or inserts. And the other elements in this stitch project I'll talk to you about in just a minute, because that's a whole new animal right there. But back to these little sets. I'm telling you how fun it is to just sit and stitch. Kind of small, it feels manageable. It gives you some mental vacation of something that's not too serious. So how I start these, I have another small set uh, going here, and I'll show you how they start out looking before I put all the embellishments on them. Now this, I just did these last night because I had these very antique, probably 1920 quilt pieces. I got a whole bag of them at the Mennonite Relief Sale down in Kidron. And obviously some little Mennonite lady or Amish lady, probably not Amish because they are printed. She had all these pieces cut for a quilt, and they're in the shape of a Dresden plate. I thought, oh my gosh, that's a birdhouse for sure. So I put that piece of fabric on there and finished these off as birdhouses. And they just have the basic stitching on them right now. And then what I will do is decide what kind of word to add to them. The word meaning like this. And that one says winsome. I think you can see that. And what kind of viney twinies I want around them. So it's a simple project, but very, very fun. Uses up tiny scraps and gives you something to work on. Easy to carry with you or sit in front of the TV. Now I have these two, and they don't have a match. So I'll be creating something else that goes along with a cupcake. And this is more of a country French Victorian shabby chic kind of look. I had some fabrics that I had printed rubber stamps on, and I added the color by using my Inktense pencils, and then I added the rose and then the word. So I'll be making some more to go along and make this a set as well as this. Two, three or four items set. And that's how it all came about. And I said in another video, and I'm going to tell you too, this is why you're never allowed to throw away anything. You're not allowed to throw away any gorgeous piece of paper or fabric that's bigger than a postage stamp. So there you have it. Now these projects also give me an opportunity to do embroidery, and on these I just did lazy daisy type stitches. On this rose I did a bullion stitch to create this rose up here, and the leaf and stem, that's a dyed lace, my Indian ink, or I'm sorry, alcohol ink dyed lace. And so it gives you a chance to just play around. And I just love these. And I'll be putting some of these on my Etsy site, but any of them I end up with, I'll probably go back and create another, full layout and use them as an insert. And easy enough, right? All right, I hope you're creating. I hope you're enjoying your spring. And I want to thank you for watching and apologize to anybody that commented that I did not respond to right away because I just moved. My sister and I moved back to what I call my favorite little hometown, which is Hartville, Ohio. And here in Hartville, we have a strong it was Amish at one time. Now it's a very strong Mennonite influence that makes for a wonderful, wonderful, safe and calm and peaceful little town. We just love it. But here we have the biggest and best thrift store I've ever seen anywhere, no matter where I've traveled. And there's no end to what I can find in the thrift store. So that's what a lot of my projects are made out of. And I'm so grateful for the people that take the time to gather up their stuff and donate it. And all the profit from that goes to missions, typically over to Africa. And from our thrift store, I know 2 or 3 years ago, I was told from one of the managers that they were able to give slightly over $1 million to missions. So don't forget to support your thrift store or op shops or whatever you have in your area, because someone took the time to gather all that stuff up, and sometimes it's utterly amazing. All right, keep creating, keep your brain young. Did you know that artistic, creative people live longer? Okay, so that should be your motto. Keep creating. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.